Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. Please subscribe if you haven't yet already. It's a red button beneath me somewhere, and if you click on that, you'll be subscribed. It's also a white bell next to that, and if you click on that, you'll get an alert every time I upload new content. And if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. That would make me very happy. This video is the fourth in a series where I am trying to recreate or being inspired by looks from the Rae Morris Masterclass book. Today's look is inspired by following the steps of Eclectic Elegance. So if you would like to see how I got this look and how I followed the steps here, what I did the same as the steps, what I did differently, please keep watching. All right, step one is to prep the skin and the eyes, which I've already done, just with moisturizer, no primer, no nothing. And then gradually blend a bronze eyeshadow onto the eyelid, then softly blend it up right to the brows. And then it says, don't go on to the next step until you've perfectly blended this eyeshadow. The easiest way to do this is to have a clean brush on standby, either on its own or with a little translucent powder. Your blending time will be halved. So, going to use Anastasia Chiffon, and I'm using a Sigma wide shader, and I do have a blending brush on standby. And I'm going to apply this directly to my lid, as directed, and softly blend it up to the brow bone. So this is hard to understand. What I think they're saying is, like, put the bulk of it on your lid and then blend the rest of it up. So what I'm doing is I'm applying the bulk of it onto my lid, and then I'm not putting more eyeshadow on the brush as I'm blending it up. And I'll do the same on the other eye, and then I'm going to blend with a clean brush. So just applying the bulk of what I have on this brush to my lid, and then just bringing this up a little bit so it's lighter, moving up. And I'm going to do two things. She's not saying to do this, but one of the things that I like to do when I'm blending is just flip the brush over. So first I'm going to do that. It's just flip it over to the clean side. And then, oh, right up to the brow bone, she says. And that's actually what it looks like. It goes all the way up, but it is very light going up. So again, I'm using the brush that has the shadow on it, but I'm not applying any more. So it's definitely more subdued, moving up higher towards my brow bone. And then to blend, I'm going to use, this came with an Anastasia, I don't know what it is. It's an Anastasia dual-ended, and I'm going to use the flat side, not the tapered kind of blendy side, just to kind of blend this a little bit more. And one of the things that I've noticed really for all of these looks that I've done so far is she's not doing anything with the crease. It's all applying shadow on your lid and up, and then applying another shadow onto your lid. So interesting. Then gonna use my Vera Mona color switch and move on to the next step. Step two is to take a deep aubergine violet eyeshadow and apply it to the lid. Sometimes bronze can look a bit orange, so in this look I like the clash of violet. So what I'm using is the same Anastasia brush that I used, and the reason I'm using it is I want to have more control. This Sigma brush that I started with is giant, and this is substantially smaller, so I'm going to use this one instead. And for the color I'm going to use Looksy Beauty Raisin Hell, which I think I've used before for another one of these looks. And again, picking up a clean brush, which is what I've done, and I'm going to tap this off and apply this to the lid. She doesn't say, so the bronze I'm assuming is metallic, and this I'm assuming is matte. So this color is matte and the bronze was metallic. And I'm going to pick more up on my brush, tap it off, go onto my other lid. So it's really subtle, the purple is. And I think that's what she's talking about, that she likes the juxtaposition of the violet with the orangey bronze. Then I'm supposed to comb and define brows. And there is an extra step later where I am actually applying a product to my brows. So for this, I'm just going to brush. This is just the spoolie side of my Anastasia Brow Wiz in dark brown. And I'm just trying to brush these up. This girl has, the model here has a lot more brow than I do. So I'm just brushing this up, trying to kind of get my, it's not really helping, trying to get my brows as fluffy as possible. I'm somehow imagining now that I'm in a forest and I am my eyebrows and trying to make them big to avoid a mountain lion attacking me. I don't know, my brain is weird sometimes. Okay, then step three is to clean up any fallout. I don't have any fallout, and that's why she likes doing the eyes first. Now apply foundation and concealer in that order. And she says that because this model has such beautiful skin, she's going to apply a light foundation buffed in with a big brush. Rae Morris, I think everything that I've done so far has been with a brush, not with a sponge. So, not that I have beautiful, beautiful skin, but just to attempt to approximate the same types of products that she's using on this model, I'm going to go in with my The Ordinary Coverage Foundation, so not the serum foundation, in 1.1N, and just going to apply it with my finger. She is not specific about applying it. I know some people apply things directly onto the brush and then apply it onto their face. I am one who's well more inclined to apply something to my face and then buff. And it's been interesting doing these looks. It's been an exercise in kind of going in and finding colors that I haven't used in a while, or that I don't use on a regular basis. Colors that I don't use on a regular basis. Techniques that I don't normally use. So the one real technique that I am picking up from her is, I'm generally someone who applies a color on my lid and colors in my crease, and what she does, which is something that I've never done before, but I'm trying to incorporate it into my regular everyday beauty routine, is to apply kind of the color on the lid and then bring it up. That's just not a technique that I've used before, and it's interesting to kind of see that in action. And then foundation and concealer. And for this, I'm going to use my Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealer. I do not know what color I am. That's so interesting. I've been looking at this recently and I don't know what color I am in this. So I'm just going to use this under my lids. But yeah, some of the techniques in here I've never really used before. The eyeshadow application method that she uses is definitely new to me. And she uses brushes for everything. I don't think I've seen anything in here where she uses a sponge. So it's interesting to have a reason to dig back into my sponges again. Then conceal where necessary, which I just did under my eyes. I'm gonna turn the page. All right, then, and because she is such a fan of using a clean brush, even if you're using the same color, I'm going to go back in with my Vera Mona color switch and same Anastasia brush, just so I'm going in with a clean color. And first step is to take the same aubergine violet shadow and apply a wash of it all the way across the lower lash line, keeping it close to the lashes. So I'm going to go in with the flat side of this, and I'm going to apply it all the way across. So not halfway across, but all the way across, which sounds redundant, but I'm just being clear about that. Going back in, same brush, more shadow, and tapping it off and applying that underneath here all the way. And then, this is confusing. I read through this a few times and I considered not doing this look at all because this step was so confusing, but I'm gonna do it anyway. But I will put what I'm reading to you on the screen to just illustrate the fact that it's confusing, and maybe let me know if it makes sense to you in a way that it doesn't make sense to me. So she says, blend it softly. So it being the shadow that I just put under my eye. Blend it softly and then take a blender brush and pull the top and the bottom eyeshadow up and out to the sides. I've softly powdered this area first with translucent powder so the shadow doesn't stick. So I am not sure what's going on here. It sounds like I'm supposed to be somehow connecting the top and the bottom. And then what she also says beneath that for a tip, and I'll also include this on the screen, is when creating a cat eye, if you start by taking your eyeshadow all the way out to where you want it to end, you leave yourself with no room to move. Instead, finish your eyes first and then use a big blending brush to pull your eyeshadow out. So what I think she's saying is that if I, and I guess I'm kind of doing a cat eye, like a suggestion of a cat eye here, that if I were to start out here, then I would already have committed to how far I'm moving out, I think is what she's saying. It's the combining these things together, and it's the putting powder underneath it, translucent powder underneath it, that's also confusing to me. Because the whole point is you want the shadow to adhere, right? You don't want to make it go away. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back in with that same Anastasia brush with the same Raisin Hell powder, and I'm going to tap it off. And because my hand doesn't know any different, and she is talking about a cat eye here, I'm going to start on my bottom lash and just bring it up a little bit. This is very subtle. I'm not really even sure if it's coming off here, but I'm just drawing a line coming out from my bottom, and then I'm bringing it out on the top just a little bit because there's not going to be any intense liner happening on the top. So that was my best attempt at step 4. Step 5. This is going to be a little bit different too. This is weird. The eyeliner and the couple steps that are weird. First is, and I'll be using not what they're telling me to use. The step 5 is to take a dark brown gel eyeliner and smudge the outer lower lash line, then use a cream color pencil on the inner waterline. So I don't have a brown gel liner. What I do have is my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown, and that's what I'm going to use. I am going to use a Sigma eyeliner brush, clean, because we're using clean brushes for everything. And I'm going to go in a little bit more aggressively because this is waxier. Eyebrow gel is definitely, or Dip Brow Pomade. Eyebrow products are thicker and waxier than an eyeliner would be. So outer lower lash line. So I think that means just the outer part of my lash line. So I'm only going to go through, not even to my iris. So that's as far as I'm going. I think that's what she's saying. Same on the other eye. And not getting much pigmentation here, which is what I would expect because your general eyebrow pomade's a lot waxier and thicker than a gel liner would be. Then I'm supposed to use a cream color pencil on my waterline area. This is the Estee Edit pencil that I love so much. It's been discontinued, and I'm just going to put this on my waterline. I'm putting it on now because that's when she's telling me to do it. But what I generally do, because I'm a little bit older and sometimes I get creasing under my eyes. If I had thought about it, I would have put this on first. I usually put this on before I put on my concealer because the opening my eyes to make sure this is being applied in the right place sometimes gets me a little bit creased. So I generally do put this on before concealer under my eye. Then I am curling my lashes and applying mascara to both the top and the bottom lashes. Apply a half lash to the outer edge of your lash line, or you can skip it if you have great lashes. I'm going to skip it not because I have great lashes, but just because I'm not great at using lashes. But maybe I'll step that up moving forward. I'll zoom you through my mascara. I'll be using my Marc Jacobs, I don't even know what this is, Velvet Noir Major Volume. I'll speed you through this. This is interesting. This step is showing up in 2 different places. So the end of step 5 is finish this step by highlighting the inner corner of your eye with a soft gold shimmer pigment. That's also going to show up in step 7. So I'm going to do this now, but I'll put those up together because it seems like it's the exact same step. What she says in step 7 is to highlight the inner corner of the eye with the soft gold shimmer. I always find the best way to do this to avoid the shimmer going all over your face is to wet an angle brush before you dip it into any shimmer. So I'm not using an angle brush. I'm going to use a flat Real Techniques definer brush. I am going to wet it with my MAC Fix Plus, and I'm using my MAC pigment, not in gold, but in platinum. It's kind of the closest that I have of a pigment. And I will dip this in and tap it off. Interesting that we did this after our face makeup, in case there's any fallout. This is definitely more pigmented than what I'm seeing on her face. I'll insert an image of her face right now, but I don't mind it. I actually like it a lot, the platinum on the inner corner. Step 6, a little trepidatious about this. Define the brows using gel eyeliner, which I'm not going to use. I'm going to go back into my Anastasia Dip Brow. That is so hard to say. Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown with an angled brush. And what she says is when you get to the outer point of the brow, if you haven't got the point as sharp as you want to, take a clean brow definer brush and using matching foundation, go above and below the point of the brow to create a sharper point. I'm not sure what's happening with that. I wouldn't ever do that. I think what I would do, and this is just a BH Cosmetics angled brush, what I would do is I would use some micellar water and a cotton bud. So I'm trying to make this look as natural as possible because the model has beautiful natural brows and I don't want to look all sculpted like I normally do. And keep it soft as much as possible. And we're almost done. Then step 7, we are lightly powdering the T-zone. So for that I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder. And then we're contouring. Again, the steps here are interesting. I'm not sure why I'm setting everything and T-zone, but kind of all over. I powder all over. Then I'm contouring, and I'm not going to do much with this. I'm going to use my e.l.f. sculpting face brush, which I got from Brenia. Hi Brenia, if you're watching, from a fun, exciting giveaway that I got from her. And I'm going to go in with my NYX blush in taupe, and just going to give myself a little bit of a cheekbone. And that's kind of all that I'm going to do. They do reference the contouring chapter in the book. I'll give myself some sculpting here too. Not going to do anything with my nose. And then again, on step 7, she's again saying to highlight the inner corner of the eye, which I've already done. And finish up with lipstick, which is close to your natural color. And then there are 2 steps that I'm not going to follow. The 2 steps that I'm not going to follow are, there are some of these looks in here that they give you extra steps to amp up. And for this one, you're doing black on your waterline, and you're doing a red lipstick, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to do this. So I'm going to go in with ColourPop Dopey. I'll speed you through this. All right, and that's the finished look. This is good. I am really appreciating the color combinations and the technique things that I'm using in this book that I just wouldn't otherwise do. So thank you so much for watching. A lot to do in the world and a lot to do on YouTube, and I really appreciate the time that you took to spend with me today. Take care, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.